Hi, me again. I just want to quickly, I don't have a lot of time, but I just want to quickly give you my thoughts on the situation in England with the protests. I'm making mince here, an item on the menu that we put with our pickles. Anyway, so this is ground beef. So I just want to give my thoughts quickly. First thing what I want to say is, on face value, it looks like it's one set of people against another set of people. You know, it's the natives versus the immigrants type of thing. But from where I'm standing, as a South African living in the Netherlands, take what I have to say with a grain of salt. I don't know the in-depth story of what it's like to live in England. You hear things, but you never know what the actual thing is, the actual truth is. So anyway, from where I'm standing, it's not so much the natives versus the immigrants. It is much more, it's the people versus the state. It's the natives versus the state. And I can guarantee you, right now, there are, behind closed doors, there are meetings going on right now by all sorts of politicians and lobbyists and you name it, and even PR firms trying to come up with ideas of how to control this narrative before it gets out of hand, and how to basically subdue the people without the state having to concede anything. Because I think that's very important, is the state is not going to concede on this. I don't think the state will say, hey, listen, we were wrong, sorry, you are right, we will undo what we did. Now, I don't have a strong opinion about, England's immigration policy. I don't live there, it's got nothing to do with me. But what I do find fascinating about these type of situations is people standing up against the powerful. That is, the channel is called Chef Against the Machine, and because I think that these ruling classes, they do what they want. They're so intelligent, so clever. Because what happens is, you and I, okay, well, not me because I don't vote, but if you vote, okay, you'll vote for somebody because of some policy that they have, or maybe they, whatever reason you vote for, doesn't really matter. And I think that this is how we rationalize to ourselves that it's okay to put these people in power and then complain about them 6 months later. But I think it's because we don't really know what reality is. We don't understand the world we live in, actually. And that's fine, because we're all busy. These things are not in the forefront of our minds all the time. But realities, as I see it, is the geopolitical world. That is reality. Wait, I'm gonna get water. Put some water with this, like that. That is reality. The government, sorry, this side. No, there we go. Is it working? Yes. The governments make decisions based on how it would affect their geopolitical stance in the world. So that's why there's so many things that they do that you didn't vote for. You didn't vote for this, and it's usually geopolitical, their foreign policies. So let's say you voted for them because of their policy on the NHS, if you're English, right? Then 2 years later into their term, you'll see them starting some sort of a coup in some other country. But yet you've got nothing to do with it. Like, you had no say in that at all. This is not something, you understand what I'm saying? It's like, once they have that power, they'll keep you occupied and busy, and they'll kind of give you what you want, but also not really give you what you want. And then the real thing that they actually care about, they'll do it on the side, and you have no say about that. And the news media will just kind of parrot whatever the state wants them to parrot. There won't be, because we bicker amongst each other so much, it's left versus right the whole time, so we never get anywhere, and they just do what they want. So, but in this situation, there's so many people that are, upset at what the state have done, that it's a big problem for the state. And I think over the next coming months, we will see exactly the results of the meetings that are going on right now. I think that, so I'm aware of that, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the speeches, the actions, the reactions. I'm interested in that. And then you also hear, just a side note, you also hear a lot about the possibility of civil war. Now, I'm no expert in it, and I know there's experts in the field that predict that there will be civil war in England and blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't, obviously don't condone violence, blah, blah. But what is interesting is I come from South Africa, a country that is infamous for having issues. It's rough out there in South Africa. Now, I don't live there anymore, but when I did, it's a rough place. It's a rough place. And yet I see to what extent people can, be miserable, have a shitty situation and still make the best of it. You can push a South African quite far, and they kind of just go on. It's almost become to a point where we just, everybody's living in misery, so let's just be happy in our misery. I love the culture. Like, everybody just, it's a shitty situation, but you know what? We've got the weekend to watch the game, or let's go for a barbecue, or, So that type of thing puts into perspective how far people can be pushed before, the severe of the severe happens, before they really start rebelling. So I'm leaning towards that they're gonna find a way to control the narrative, the government, and they're just going to kind of make sure that this thing fizzles into nothing. You might disagree with that, and fine, but it's usually what happens in these situations. If these things lose momentum, they've got momentum now, but as soon as they lose momentum, then people forget and they move on and they live their daily lives. And next year we talk about, remember those 2 weeks where people were on the streets? So we'll see what happens. I'm glad for the English people that are standing up for themselves. It's not about these people versus those people, it's about the people versus the state. And we should always keep the powerful honest. We try to, because it's really difficult. Anyway, thank you for watching. Ciao, bye.